Good afternoon and welcome to the TheoTrade afternoon video. I am Blake Young. Today is June 25th, 2026. And just now, just as we're going into the last hour or so of trading today, it's been interesting to watch the recovery off the lows. We have some news that would seem like we are escalating the conflict in Iran with some boats being attacked. But the market is actually rallying off those lows. We have been closing within a matter of 2 points on the S&P 500 since the gap down that we saw to start this week. So flat, 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 here we are, and indecisive, but this recovery off of the lows is really interesting to me because we had a larger candle and we're over the halfway mark. That would normally be a bullish sentiment to me. In fact, looking at the market, every sector has turned back positive except for three. Now, the three that are not positive for the day yet are consumer staples, communications, and discretionary, consumer discretionary spending. Those are not likely bedfellows because we got consumer discretionary and consumer staples, and yet communications is down as well. So normally, if I were saying, yeah, we'd expect the consumer staples and consumer discretionary to go opposite directions, is this a judgment against consumer spending, period? Is the fact that in this recovery and the move in the market, we are not betting on consumers at all? That not even the staples, we're not betting on them at all. Now, I do think the staples are fine to trade, to own, to sell premium against, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But it does seem like we're getting told another story. We're flat, really, on the last 3 days. We're middle of the range today on the S&P 500, and there's a lot of uncertainty. The strongest trades have been in industrials and healthcare and in crude. And yet energy isn't that high, it's just crude prices itself. So as we watch this move and this recovery, we're recovering as crude is breaking out to the new highs for the day, and the equity markets are recovering off their lows. Let's take a look at consumer staples really quick, and we'll look at healthcare as well. But looking at consumer staples, we're sitting here at the yearly 0% or 100% line on the monkey bars. You can see that we were down here. The monkey bars for the year have worked out well. We were told to be a buyers here. We hit fair price. Buyers here hit fair price. And right through here, we're just kind of coiled up in the middle. So if we can sell premium, sell put verticals on stuff that we're willing to own, stuff that offers a dividend, stuff that's going to set us up for a longer term position trade, I will continue to do that with consumer staples. Even on stocks like Walmart and Costco, which are down today. So take a look quickly at Walmart. Walmart is down today, down here near the lows. If I can see anything stabilizing down here and potentially creating higher lows, I will look for those trades. Now, today is not the day to do it. I'm saying these are the stocks I'd still be willing to look at because they are discounted. If we're going to look at Walmart to start and say, are we going to put in a base here? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know where we're going to put in a base, but I do know that Walmart is one that is in consumer staples and is one that we could potentially get a lower cost trade. Right now, it's just not the case. We're selling off, the premium is not high enough, and as you know, I want to get the 2.5% return, but out of the money in a delta between 30 and 40. If I can do that, I will consider stepping back into stocks like Walmart. Go to Costco really quickly, and again, this is not the timing. We want to let it fall back to wherever it's going to fall. Costco does appear to be putting in a low more consistently with what we're looking for, in that it's retesting the low and is offering you a potential bounce. Now, it hasn't given the bounce, but a couple things I look for, it has become overextended in the distribution. That is usually at an extreme. It has bounced there and has retested that level. I would be a little bit surprised to see Costco not bounce at this level. The problem with Costco at this level is to sell a put on a Costco, it is a nearly $1,000 stock. So one put contract, where I normally like to sell a cash secured or a naked put, one put contract is going to tie up about $20 or $2,000 per contract because you might get assigned at $10,000. So, or sorry, at $94,000 for 100 shares. Now that's a lot of money tied up. So instead, let's go take a look at out of the money short put verticals, and we could go all the way down here below the lows, below this level, and even below this low shadow here, and go back to 930. If we go to 930 and sell the put premium there and buy an out of the money put to protect it, we might be able to get a trade that's going to pay us $1.70. And a $1.70 trade on a $5 wide spread tells us that we have to be 66% of the time. If we analyze the trade, if Costco's going to hold up here, we'll set our slices to break even. We want this to be a positive edge in our favor. That's what we're looking for. And what this is telling us, if we go out to July 24th, I was going to say that is way off. There we go. What is this telling us? That we are probably overpaying for it right now. We need to be right 66% of the time. It says it's going to be right 61%. So again, this is not the time to do it, but this is the structure of the trade that I would be looking at. So don't give up on consumer staples, because they will give you opportunities to trade into this, collect premium, get dividends, and we are still showing stable price action in the sector itself. But where's the hotspot? Healthcare. And Amgen is giving us a breakout, a flip of the dot, Bollinger Band breakout, a flip of the dot, and possibly higher highs, higher lows through this level. We already created the higher highs, higher lows here on this move. And this is pullback and the bounce is just continuing that higher high, higher low. As long as we can close above here, we would expect it to continue to move in these moves that are about $20 or about 8% each move higher. The question is, do I want to buy the call, buy the stock, or sell the put? If we're looking at Amgen, just buying the stock outright would cost you $35,600 of capital and margin, basically half of that. So as we're looking at this move, maybe this is a little expensive way to go. It does pay a 2.8% dividend yield annually. The next dividend is not till October, so we have some time to set up trades, August. So we have some time to set up some trades and let these things work for us. So we'll watch, we'll set up, we'll wait. And as we're looking at that, can we collect premium while we wait? Well, if I don't want to get assigned yet, because the payment's not till August, I will still go out and try to get 2 to 2.5% down here at $3.50, and I could sell July for $5 to $7. The spreads are a little bit wide, but if I get filled there, I would get paid 2% for a month and lower my cost. But if I don't want to own $35,600 worth of stock, then I will sell that same strike and buy the next strike out and reduce my costs. The spreads are a little wide right now, like I said, but these are the kind of trades we want to look for. This is somewhere near $1.70. The spreads are a little wide, so we'd really want to work that order. Same kind of probability that we just saw on Costco, but it's not a $1,000 stock. It's a $350 stock. Analyze the trade here. Go to Amgen. Set slices to break even. And if we need to be right, well, if we can get 185, then we need to be right 63% of the time, and 63% of the time this is at 59. That's a normal trade. 3 to 5% cost or difference between probability and this is a normal trade. It's okay. I'd be all right with it. I'd prefer to get that a little tighter or even turn it the probability is positive, but I do like how Amgen is breaking out, which means if this is not enough, if this doesn't give me enough probability, this is where we go look at the call. Now this is where I'm going to get a little more creative because I want to reduce my cost and still improve my opportunities. I expect this to go from the dot to the close. I expect it to replicate that size of move based off volatility. The fact that we're making higher highs, higher lows, the fact that we're unwinding short positions and making new highs. I'm looking for this to get to about 378. In fact, let me just dial that in right now. Yeah, about 378. We'll call it 380. If I think we're going to go to 380 and we're at this level right through here, I want to buy out of the money in this case. Normally I do an in-out spread. The in-out spreads are fine, but the probabilities are roughly the same as the short put. Vertical right now, we don't have an edge. So what I want to do is I want to reduce my cost and create an opportunity for me. I want to be able to sell somewhere inside where I think it's going to go. So if I think it's going to go to 380, I want to sell 375. I want to buy a delta near 30, and I want to sell a strike or two out, preferably where we will go past my level to get to my target. So if I can do the 370 to 375, this trade is only $1.43 on a $5 wide spread if we can get that fill. Let's call it $1.45. If I pay $1.45 on a $5 wide spread, I need to be right 29% of the time. We're selling a delta in this case at 26, but my target is at 380. I think we have a good shot at getting up there and past there. All we have to do is get in the money though. If I paid $1.45 and we get in the money and go past it, we would in essence be at this 345, 350. And the 345, 350 would theoretically be worth 315 or as high as $5 because we'd be selling in that case, which means we should be able to take this trade and get more than 100% return. We might even be able to get 200% return on that trade just by going past our target. We do not have to hold it to the expiration. We're not even trying to get to the $5. We can get 100% to 200% return just by going past our target. And again, Amgen's a little wide on the spreads, but we're also in the middle of the trading day on a volatile trading day with volatile stocks. Now looking at something else in the healthcare space like Abbott Labs. Abbott Labs has experienced a major sell-off. We've gone from $138 down to the 80s. Now we have broken out. We've made higher highs, higher lows. We've reversed this. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and a breakout. Low volume, a little bit of concern, but we're above the average. Need to get back above that zero on the Chaikin, but this also looks positive. And Abbott Labs has a higher dividend yield. It has a 2.7% dividend yield, and that dividend is going to be paid July 15th. So, do I want to try to get assigned before July 15th? It might be worth my time to try to get that dividend, but remember it's 63 cents. And so we're not going to go too aggressive on that 63 cents if I can get paid more. So maybe we can do the July 17th. There is a small chance we get assigned before expiration, but then we want to make sure that we don't get in trouble with X dividend. Okay, we don't get hit there. But look at the returns on this. If we're looking at this, we could go out to the 24th and then not worry about the dividend. We could do the 17th and maybe hope we get assigned beforehand before the 15th, and then we own it. And that's what would be great. But nice thing is, it's really not an issue to us. If I can get paid $265 with a delta of 37, I'm getting paid 2.74% return on risk for 3 weeks, not for the entire month, just 3 weeks. So the dividend is 63 cents, but the return for selling the put and just being willing to own it is $2.60 or $2.42, and the price would have to fall all the way down to 91, which means $2.36. In essence, we're getting paid 2.75%, and it would have to fall double that, 5.5%, before we get in trouble. So I like that short put. Just sell the put, be willing to own it. If they assign it to you before the 15th, then great, you own it, you get the dividend. But if not, you do it again and again and again, and we can keep collecting 2.7% on Abbott Labs. If we want to own it, then we just buy it. We just buy the stock, and absolutely we can buy it and own it. And that 93.38 is a reasonable trade for a dividend-paying stock that's going to pay us 2.7%. I would wait until you're right up past the dividend, and then I would start selling calls against it. The probability there looks very promising. Let's go back to here and say, what if I didn't want to own it, still wanted to collect premium, see the volatility and the opportunity? Well, we can still do that trade. Now we're going to still sell the 91 because that's the spot I want to sell, and I'm going to buy one, strike out, sell the 91, buy the 90. Our probabilities there are already going to set up pretty close to what we want. This 40-cent credit, if we can get the spread to meet, is going to give us 40 cents and risk 60 cents. We need to be right 60% of the time on Abbott Labs, and 60% of the time on Abbott Labs, setting slices to break even for the next 3 weeks, says we're going to be right 61.5%. So this is statistically working in our favor. We have a little bit of an edge. We're not even paying the market maker their 3 to 5%. We're not even getting a quote-unquote free trade by getting a 0% difference. We're actually getting a 1.5% edge by selling that put vertical. So Abbott Labs works on basically all fronts. Sell the put vertical, buy the stock. And this trade works because you have a dividend stock that is breaking out on good volume through the top side on higher highs, higher lows after a massive sell-off. And there's a lot more opportunity to the top side. And if you don't want to do an individual stock or you want to have a little bit more diversification, I think healthcare in general is breaking out, clearing the highs, closing up, And it pays a dividend not as high as the other. It pays about 1.6. Yep, 1.68%. 1.68% dividend on healthcare in general. We're making higher highs, higher lows. I would just buy the underlying. If you're trying to participate in the dividend and in the sector, you can just buy the underlying, collect the dividend. And my next target for healthcare is not only just retesting this 158, but I do think we could go all the way up to annual highs and get into this 160 to 163 area. And that looks very promising. So healthcare is the sweet spot. Healthcare is providing dividends. Healthcare can be diversified, and position can be taken in many different ways. But it's the top performing sector in this uncertain, wild moving market. And so I will be continuing to look there. There are some things happening in industrials that we'll have to watch over the next couple of days. We'll talk about in the main room. But for now, I'm looking for healthcare, and I'm still willing to go into staples, but it's a matter of timing on the staples. But today is the timing for healthcare. That's going to do it for me today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the trading room.